Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Libtech Apex Golden Orca. Yeah, they made one of those. This board features Mervin's C2X camber profile, which gives you reverse between the feet, then a bigger camber section out in the tip and the tail, and it slightly flattens out before the upkick. Basically what this is going to do is give you independent load zones with a lot more torsional flex and a little bit more play in the nose and the tail. It also makes it easier to elevate this board to float in POW. This board's available in 153, 157, and 161. I rode this board at Arapahoe Basin on a day that was nuking heavy wet snow. There was 6+ inches of wet snow. You had slush at the lower mountain, which was really weird because it was snowing, so it was probably raining down there. Chopped, chunder, heavy push mounds, creamy corduroy. Basically, it was a late spring powder day, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. The overall flex of this board comes in at past a middle of the road, but it's not a plank. You do have some interesting flex areas. So from the nose back to outside the front insert pack, it's softer than it progressively stiffens up, and then you get right in front of the rear insert pack this flex point that has some give, and then it stiffens up even more back towards the tail. The torsional flex is noticeable. You can twist this board. That's pretty much a given with a C2X camber profile. And when it comes to stability, you get a lot of chatter and flap in the nose, and that will resonate to outside or just in the insert pack, and you'll feel it. But then from the middle of the insert pack back through the tail, it stiffens up and it's able to plow through chop and chunder with relative ease. It's one of those boards that almost favors you being a little back foot dominant so that it's hitting under the front foot. And when I say it's hitting, you'll feel it, but it's not as bad as some other boards out there where you're like, whoa, I'm gonna get bucked around. This board actually tries to stay on top of everything in its path. So with the pop on this board, what you put in is what you're gonna get out. It does favor the rear camber zone as it rides rear foot heavy, in my opinion. So just be aware of that. If you're trying to equally pop it, the front foot isn't gonna give you as much as the rear foot, and don't skip leg day because like I said, what you put in is what you get out. So if you put a lot in, you're gonna get a lot out. If you don't put a lot in, you're not gonna get shit out of it. So it's just one of those boards that it's not the snappiest, but it does get the job done. There's a little bit of fight in this board when you butter, whether you're on the tail or the nose. You pop a 180, you press into it, you're gonna feel those camber zones wanna load up and pop you immediately right out. So put more weight further out and press into it a little bit harder, and you'll have an okay time. If you don't, you're not gonna have an okay time. And if you put a lot of pressure into it, you're gonna have a great time, especially if you're in steep and deep snow, because this thing will butter in that for sure. No questions asked. This board does take a little bit more effort to steer and turn. When you're ankle steering right underfoot, you find that you're throwing more pressure into the toe and the heel to engage those turns. And on medium hard carves, you're putting more effort into the center of this board, really driving from that rear foot, disengaging the front to get it to lay it over. Can you lay it over? Yes. Does it take a lot more effort than you'd think? Yes. For being something that's C2X, I was actually surprised at how much more effort I was putting into this. Now, it could have been the snow conditions, but I do believe that with seeing the carbon wrap in this and how everything works, it's a board that you gotta kind of stay on top of when you're turning. Short, tight, quick carves take more effort. Medium, mellow carves take more effort. Medium, hard carves take more effort, and really laying it over, you're giving yourself a full body workout. So who's this board for? Travis Rice, or somebody that thinks they're gonna ride like him if they buy it. You know who you are. So this board rode better than I thought it would. I figured it was just gonna be a stiffer Golden Orca, and to an extent it is, but it's more back foot dominant, and that helps it with POW float because there's a flex point right inside that rear insert pack. That helps elevate it and you get better POW float. It is a board that does require more effort to steer and drive it, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you want. If you're not a more aggressive rider, the Golden Orca is probably all you absolutely need. Do you need an Apex Golden Orca? Maybe if you're a really heavy rider or someone that is very back foot dominant, smash and pow, and wants to charge but wants a C2X profile. Comparable boards, the Yes Pick Your Line on Inc., the Nidecker Alpha APX, the Ride Super Pig. Binding recommendations, the Bent Metal Transfer, the Ride C8, the Now Select Pro. This has been my review of the Libtech Apex Golden Orca. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you gonna buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you wanna support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.